Hi, I'm George Levy, and I'm at the Blockchain Futurist conference in Hollywood, Florida. Today, I have the great opportunity to speak with Jason Dominique from Onchain Labs. Jason, great speaking with you, man.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me. So, looking forward to chatting about what we're working on.
Yeah, one of the things that I need to understand, because I started doing some background checking on Onchain, and you have a very innovative way, like you're transforming, revolutionizing how digital assets are sold. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing, because it's really off. Actually, no, it's on-chain.
No pun intended.
Absolutely.
So I think what we need the audience to understand, which I feel they're rightfully positioned to feel the pain, which is right now in the last few cycles, a lot of crypto has moved on chain. It's no longer kind of reserved to the centralized exchanges or the ramps where you could buy your assets directly. Now, most of what people actually want to trade is on a DEX or, not necessarily available directly through the centralized exchanges. So what started to happen is that the behavior has changed dramatically. Now you have to buy gas, whichever chain you...
Which, by the way, really upsets me sometimes, because I'm like, but I'm trying to buy this, but I need gas on this. Like, yes. It's really, really frustrating for me. I want that, but I need this gas.
Yeah, no,
it's a pain in the ass, dude.
Absolutely, and I think this is something that is shared amongst pretty much...
Right.
I wouldn't dare to say 100%, but let's leave it at 99.9% because I don't want to be too cocky here. But most people don't like to buy gas, to then trade on chain. So what we started working on is effectively the first on-demand payment gateway to buy on-chain assets. So what does that mean? Basically, any asset that you see that has been deployed and has liquidity on-chain that you can trade on Uniswap or any other DEX, right. You can go on our website, and this is actually launching today, and it's buy.onchain.money, and you just paste the contract there, tell the chain on which it's been deployed on, and then what it will do is it'll just generate an interface to buy the asset with your local favorite payment method, like Apple Pay, Google Pay, etc. So this is
which people are already used to using. You don't have to, oh, wait a minute, I have to figure out how do I actually, not only do I need to get gas, I need to figure out how to use MetaMask or whatever the hell to do. No. Yeah. You make it so much easier.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do here is, everybody has this statement of, we want to bring, the next billion people on chain.
Sure.
I think the reality here is it's going to be very hard if the learning curve still remains. And we feel that, fiat access is still a pretty big bottleneck, even though a lot claim that it's been solved because it's easy to buy gas and then it's easy to then swap, and then it's like, all of these things
really, you have to go multiple steps. You have to learn. You can make mistakes at every one of those steps.
Absolutely. So, this whole on-chain gateway that we're, launching doesn't just abstract kind of the gas or these, it just abstracts total friction. And I'm sure, if you would interview people in the street and you would ask them, what is on-ramping? They'll be pretty perplexed. And then they would say, well, what's swapping? They'll be like, well, I'm pretty perplexed. What's gas? What's slippage? What's a DEX?
Keep them rolling.
Exactly. So right. what people, and that's kind of what I always said to my team, which is if we're able to nail this, deliver this seamless, really easy way to purchase on-chain assets, as easy as
using fiat, which is like, you don't have to, okay, so fiat to crypto, okay, I need this gas so I can buy this asset. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But you just fiat directly to and just on-chain.
Yes, exactly. So, what we said is, any new people coming into this space, they won't be astonished by this type of service because that's
a logical progression, to tell you the truth.
Well, it's not a progression. It's the sense like they're not coming from a place where they understand that it was bad and now it's good. They're just expecting it to be great.
That makes sense.
So for them, they're not going to be, wow, flabbergasted. Oh my God, this is so great. We live in an on-demand economy.
Absolutely.
And these users, the bare minimum is that they show up and then they just can pay with whatever.
Which is what most people are used to anyway.
Exactly.
So if you go into a store and I want to buy that, well, I know I can either use a credit card or Apple Pay or Google Pay or whatever the heck, right? I mean, that's what most people are used to, and it's kind of hard to see them jumping on the digital asset bandwagon if you have to do all these hurdles, right? Interesting.
But right now we're exposing, or we're touching base on kind of the user end type of pain. But if you go on the other side of that kind of marketplace, you have the token issuers.
Sure.
So you have all of these. So if I would tell you, and you run a business, plenty of people run businesses. If I would, to tell you if you're going to build a service, and there's this great promise on this great platform, and you start building, and I would tell you, well, unfortunately, nobody can buy what you're about to sell. How excited would you be to build on this new platform? You'd be like, well,
why even try?
Just call me back when people, can actually buy. So what happens is that you have all of these great builders that are out there right now, and they just can't sell because their addressable market is as big as the people holding gas. And between you and I, it's infinitely smaller than people that are holding fiat.
Absolutely.
Because everybody holds fiat. Everybody's, accustomed to their favorite payment methods. But gas, this is not something that people are going to eventually hold for real. And they shouldn't. So if you think about a project, the model right now is a reseller economy, and what is being sold for access is friction. Because when the industry started to change and go on chain, all of these gatekeepers, the traditional ramps like the MoonPays, the Transact, the Ramp, all of the centralized exchanges from Binance to Coinbase to KuCoin to OKX, they're in the reseller economy.
Of course.
So they have one of two options. One, they'll list the token and sell it directly.
Absolutely.
Which is something that, between you and I, most token project can't afford.
Sure.
This is reserved to the few, so it's kind of a catch-22. If you want to get
the exchange, it's a hugely profitable angle.
Exactly. So when they started noticing that there's now thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of tokens being launched every single month, their business model cannot scale.
Right.
So what did they do? They pivoted to sell gas. Because whether they sell the token that they normally would list and resell,
or they make the money,
or they sell the gas, they don't care.
Right.
So now they profit on friction, which is not really cool for the users.
Right. But that's where you come in to solve
exactly.
the
So we crush this whole gatekeeping.
Awesome.
So we want to kind of obliterate first the word on-ramping, because it makes no sense, and we don't want to teach the world how to on-ramp. And second, we want to level the playing field, because at the end of the day, we don't want to make kind of support an industry that favors the one that have huge backings in terms of funding and all of those things.
Totally anti-crypto, man. That's not the vision.
Exactly.
Only the rich people buy.
Exactly. So we want the space to be about creativity.
Cool.
We want it to be about culture. We want to be about kind of innovation, and not about who has the most money to get listed on Binance or on Coinbase or whatever. Now what this creates is it really levels the playing field, and now any of those tokens can now be global on day one without having to list anywhere.
Awesome. So Jason, one thing, and just for the audience, how can we learn more about Onchain and actually use Onchain? How do we find you?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You go on onchain.money, and whichever asset you want to purchase, you just search for it. If you can't find it, you can paste the contract address, and what's going to happen in a few seconds is that we have smart guardrails. It's going to scan through the token contract. It's also going to look at tradability. So does it have sufficient amount of liquidity, etc.? And then if it does, within a few seconds, it's going to generate an interface, an on-ramping interface,
Literally
which is the gateway.
fly. You just get
on the fly. It's on demand. And then you just sign up and choose your favorite payment methods. And
you said that's launching today, as of right now?
As of right now, well, technically when I'm saying right now, hopefully your audience is going to see it maybe tomorrow.
Well, today's December 5th, first day of the Blockchain Futurist Conference in Hollywood, Florida. It's a great opportunity to learn about Onchain, especially timely. The fact we're jumping in on this one. So check out onchain.money. Onchain.money. Jason, what a great opportunity. Wishing you the very best.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to learning more about what you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All the very best, Jason.